Hi, I'm Dave. This is the Cyderbaby show, and today I am with 3/4 of Autonym. Hello, guys.
Hey,
Right, introduce yourselves. Let's go top left-hand corner, but that might be different for everybody, so I don't know. Go on.
see. Who's in the top
Sounds
left?
like Sounds like no one's speaking, so it'd be me.
Yeah, go
Hi,
on.
my name's Mark. I am the lead guitarist of Autonym. I'm pretty much the only guy that does a lot of the Facebook stuff. So if you see something going up, it's usually me.
Right, okay. The chat with the headphones. Let's go.
Yeah, sure thing. I'm Blake. I'm the drummer for Autonym. I've been with the band probably the least amount of time, although I think I've just about hit the year mark, have I, Mark? Something like that. Just over, maybe.
Oh,
You're over a year, yeah.
Yeah.
You poor
it's
guy.
part of the family now.
He's trapped. Don't forget,
Medals in the
you're
post.
here forever.
And you, sir.
My name is Connor, and I am the bassist.
Wow. Right. You contacted me via the email the other day with a new single. Tell me about. Go on, Mark. You can tell me.
Yeah, so the new single is the last one we've actually brought out for the EP that's just landed. It's basically the one that finishes the whole thing off. It's probably the most intricate thing that we've actually got on there. I think it sounds great. It's got quite a bit of political issues there that I think some people can relate to. So I'm hoping it goes down well. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I
think
was
it sounds
listening.
great.
I was listening to it earlier, and I thought, why haven't I played this on the radio yet? So that'll be going on tomorrow's show. So why now? Why release that particular song now?
I think it's one of them at the minute. What we're trying to do is we're definitely moving forward with the sound between us that we've made up with Blake recently. We do feel a lot more comfortable as a band. News the World was one of the last ones we wrote with a couple of the older members and that, and we felt like it still needs we still need to get it out there before we start writing other stuff. And
Right.
a lot of the political issues in there, I still think probably still sound just as good today as what they did 3 years ago.
So this is a track pretty much written during lockdown, I assume.
Pretty much, it wasn't far off. But just before, wasn't it?
Just before. I mean, the some of the more old-time Autonym fans, if you like, would probably notice that the track's slightly different from how we used to play it back then. It's been reworked quite a bit, hasn't it?
Definitely. Layout's changed a little bit since last time. I think it sounds a lot better.
Just a
I
bit.
think it dragged a little bit before. It's starting to sound a lot more full now.
Was it close to the 7-minute mark originally, or something ridiculous like that?
Yeah.
It wasn't far off.
Okay, we've got another guy in the room. Can he hear us? Can he see us? No.
Dave, can you hear us?
No, he's connecting to audio.
It's still connecting to audio.
Oh, audio's on. We can see you. Can you hear us? No.
I can just about see him. It's a bit darker, isn't it?
Young and mysterious.
It is. He's the more brooding member
He's
of
in
the
the
band.
shadows.
I think it's a Dave thing. Just put it out there. He's purposely not saying anything now, I'm sure. He can hear us. Ah. No. We'll crack on. So, the EP. Tell me the name,
Yes.
and when did that come out?
The EP is called CRF, and it came out 3 weeks ago, was it? No, it was. Come on, guys, remind me now. When did it actually come out?
2nd of June.
Yeah, back in the June.
So, yeah, start of the month.
Yeah.
It was actually 12th of May, the EP came out.
That was it. I thought it was earlier than that.
Yeah.
Look at
Brought it
that.
out
2nd of June was the launch show, wasn't it? Mixing those up.
That was it,
We brought out the EP 12th of May, and then we backed it up within a launch gig 3 weeks later, which was the beginning of June. I think that's where Connor caught on to.
Yeah.
It's been out a couple of months. It's doing quite well. It's got quite a few streams so far on Spotify. Got quite a few buys when we actually did the EP launch, which we are at the minute selling actual copies at gigs, which is the only place you can get them at the minute.
Right, okay. Oh, Dave's had enough of us and gone. I'm not sure if he's left the band quite yet, but
lead singer's just made an appearance and then went.
Technology just doesn't work for him.
Wait, he's in the video.
That's something.
Okay, so tell me about the EP then. How many tracks? What songs you got on there? What have you released before from it?
We've got altogether, there's 5 tracks on it. 4 if you're classing 4 full tracks. We've got an intro track at the beginning that goes into Pipe, which is the first track we actually released. Back in, that was post-COVID, just as it were all coming to an end, I think, or about halfway through. It was 2020 we released it.
Yeah.
And that was the start of things to come. But it was so like in the middle of there, we really had to sort of like get back to getting a full lineup again, because a couple of the lads sort of didn't believe in it. So in came Blake, and we pretty much smashed the rest of it together, and sounded pretty decent.
Yeah. Okay.
Where we all going, I think it's probably the best one so far. That seems to be doing absolutely brilliantly.
Okay.
There's one we're recording a music video for. You see all of us four basically in a car dicking about.
Which always works.
But there is a pattern to it. There is a story to the actual music video. It's not all just like it's not all just dicking about, is it?
Are you sure?
No, you've got to...
Yeah, trust me. There is a story to it. Very intricate when you read between the lines.
Yeah, you've got to watch it to find out how it ends.
Yeah, exactly. Watch the full thing multiple times. Actually, you have to get it. You have to watch it multiple times to really get it. I think. Share it with everybody as well. Share it with everybody. See what their interpretation is of it too. You know, we want to hear from lots of people. So yeah, share it with everyone. You know.
Okay, so it's available on YouTube then, I assume, and we can leave a comment. Oh
yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
come on, Dave.
What does this video mean?
You can do it, mate. Don't let the Dave side down.
what?
Hey, you can hear us.
Oh, can hear us.
Great.
Woo, woo.
There he is.
Orange.
Hey, orange is better than orange. So you're fine.
The spotlight's on you.
Would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
Just me, yeah. My name,
just you. Yeah, just.
my name is Dave, the latecomer McCormack.
And what do you do within the band, sir? Apart from being late?
I'm the front man and guitarist. I say rhythm guitarist, but
yeah. So is your timing as impeccable on stage as well as in Zoom calls?
I've got better recently. Apart from calls.
Yeah. No, it's pretty much lost the Axel side of him when it comes to gigs these days. It's doing all
right. Is that what it is?
It's what we class it as.
No, you can't say that. I mean, who is the biggest diva of the band? But don't say Dave, because is this not fair? He's worked hard to get here today.
Made sure to dress up, get his hair done, get the right sock on.
I've got I've turned on 2 separate computers to try and be here today.
Well, that is good going.
Yeah. We appreciate it, mate. It wouldn't be the same without you.
I've got my phone torch shining right in my eyes to try and make it less of this
suffering.
It does look like you've got a bad case of sunburn now, mate.
It does, doesn't it? I don't know how to fix this.
You're doing
well. I'm sure the punters would love to see you as this on the stage. It'd be fine.
Yeah.
It's a selling point. We've basically covered the EP and the single without you. So anything you'd like to add to the single, News of the World?
It's great.
Okay. Is that it?
I mean, that's all you can say about it.
Yeah. In fairness, Dave, you pretty much wrote a lot of the lyrics to make. Tell us a bit about the story on the actual lyrics behind it.
I mean, it's a bit outdated now, to be honest. The lyrics themselves, they were kind of written in the time of like Boris Johnson and Donald Trump and all of that jazz going on. So it was all about, you hear in the song, and it was Connor that actually mentioned. Connor was the one that said, "Are people going to think of like the A-Team?" Because the line is Mr. T. I was thinking of Trump, you know.
Yeah.
I was going Mr. B and Mr. T. Anyway, it was just all. It's very political. I don't think I've ever wrote a political song before, aside from this one. But like I say, it's a bit outdated. Which, I mean, I suppose the actual meaning behind the song isn't necessarily outdated because it's all to do with the leaders being selfish, liars, and all of that stuff, which has always been true. I suppose it's just the names, like the specific people I'm referring to, have been a bit outdated at this point.
I mean, nothing's really changed, has it?
No.
Up there at the top, they're all still greedy assholes, aren't they? You know, whoever you're getting, it's always the same.
Yeah, I mean, one thing about politics, the names change, but nothing,
exactly.
like you said,
that's all it is.
nothing changes otherwise. Other than that,
yeah,
you go back 50 years and it was still exactly the same, and 50 years time it will still be exactly the same.
So I still feel like the song's still got just as much purpose now, because like you say, the story never changes. It's just names and the faces that change.
Yeah.
I suppose we could change it to Mr. S and Mr. B now, couldn't we?
Well, we're on about so like
Mr. S and Mr. B.
We were saying around the same times when we were actually trying to record it that it was sort of like, who was it? It was Theresa May and Biden that were in there, and we're actually really, really close for it to actually line up really well. Mrs.
Yeah.
Was it what's the face?
It was Truss.
It lasted about 10 seconds and then
yeah, she decided just to sort of kill us off because she decided not to last longer than a frigging lettuce.
Oh, I can't believe that actually happened, though. You know, people were saying to me there was something about a lettuce, and I was like, "What the hell are you on about?" But there was a lettuce.
Okay,
there was a lettuce.
There was a lettuce
for Prime Minister.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, how to date a song in 5 easy weeks.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Some of my videos have dated quite quickly as well. I mean, I think I've done a couple of videos interviewing bands, not bands, festival promoters. Go, yeah, we're selling tickets, great, this, that, and the other. And then within a week they cancel the festival, and you think,
oh,
what's the point? But never mind. This is more relevant, obviously. So people who don't know you guys, how would you best describe your sound? And why should they go and listen to you? Apart from the obvious great lyrics and the missing vocalists.
What would the words dirty blues mean to you, Dave?
Dirty blues? Maybe a slush puppy I dropped on the floor.
Exactly that. Just think of that, but in a musical form, and that's it.
That's you, is it?
It's always been one of the hardest sort of like things to work out and how to actually describe what we are. Because every time one person says we sound like this, another person always be like, we sound like that. So it moves from like alternate to grunge to blues to sometimes we even get progressive, very, very rarely, but it still comes across every now and again. And then just a simple metal. So if you want it in one sort of state of what it is, it's dirty, heavy metal, blues, grunge. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think in the writing though as well, we are starting to get a bit of a sound that is distinctly Autonym as well. Like you listen to, obviously we haven't got much recorded yet, but a lot of the new stuff that we're writing and that we will be releasing, I think does have a very much our kind of sound to it. So
yeah. I think like early on, like when we had the first two band members, there was a bit of like there's a massive mixture of like influences that we had. I think Dave is, I think you're primarily like kind of blues or like kind of 60s.
For me, it's what you call dad rock nowadays.
Dad rock.
That's
yeah. Says the granddad with a death metal t-shirt on, but
yeah. See, that's exactly how it works. You think it's one thing, then it's something completely different.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, you have progressed or evolved, shall we say, over the time that I've heard you guys on various singles. I think I reviewed your first single back. Oh, that must have been pre-COVID times.
Was that Fantasia?
Yes, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going back a while, is that? Yeah. I think that was the very first single we ever released.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. It was just then where everything seemed to be like, we're doing all right, we've released a single, we're all about to shoot up, we're getting big gigs, and then COVID.
Yeah.
Everything had to end. So we've had to build back up from the rafters and doing all right.
But don't you think that's a good thing? Because now you seem like a well-gelled machine, shall we say? You seem fairly fit together now.
Yeah, well, they always say sort of like nothing really, sort of like everything happens for a reason a lot of the time. It's in the situation we are now. I mean, if COVID had never hit, there might have been a chance we'd have never actually got Blake in the band or all like that. We never have actually got the saxophone mix between the four of us. It's worked so well for the last year or so. It's just one of them, you never know. But it seems to be coming. It's coming round in full circle now, and it seems to be going really well. It seems to really moulded quite nicely.
I was saying this in practice the other day, wasn't I? The last couple of times that we've got together, it's usually every week that we get together. And the last couple of times we have, it feels different. There's been some kind of shift recently in how we play together, and it's become a lot easier, and it's sounding a lot more tighter. And I can't put my finger on where exactly it happened, but it's perfect to play with these guys.
Brilliant.
Definitely feel like we're having to not worry so much about how to play the songs as they are, but how to actually put them together for the live audience now, which is great to do. Actually gives someone a proper show, which is so much more fun.
Speaking of shows, what have you got coming up?
Well, we actually have our first debut in Nottingham coming up next Friday at Via Fossa. And then that's one of the last ones we've got before we do a back to home gig in Leeds that's still to be announced. So you just have to keep an eye on that on the social media. And you'll see when that one's coming.
Yeah. We'll be back in Barnsley as well during July too, back at the White Bear.
Yeah.
Always a really good place to play. People in Barnsley really, really love the live music. We always get a good crowd.
Yeah. Can't fault Barnsley for audiences. It's still some of the best out there.
It's remarkable on a Wednesday night, just how full that pub is for a live band. And they are there for that as well. It is quite surprising.
Yeah, they really get involved.
Yeah, I can't think of many venues or even pubs that are like that on a Wednesday night. It is quite unique.
It does take some doing to draw in a crowd on a Wednesday or a Tuesday night, something like that.
Yeah. Especially in Barnsley, I wouldn't necessarily say it's like extreme of a it's not even a university town, really, is it?
No.
I'm a southerner. I can't.
It's not the same as like when you get Leeds in Yorkshire, where you think the big names, those are the places you expect to go. But yeah, Barnsley's definitely one of them I'd actually rate quite well. Definitely for like the up and coming bands who want an audience get to Barnsley, because that's one of the best places to be recently.
Okay.
We just finished up doing Barnsley Live, which is something to do every year. That's like all different venues around the actual place. It gets bands all day long, and it's always full, always packed. Everyone always wants to come see all these different bands, and they're there for the music, which is great to see. Really nice.
And you're saying that the live gigs are the only place you can get the physical EP.
It is. If you want a copy of CRF in physical form, you've got to get to a gig.
Right.
We can sign it for you too.
Yeah. If you want it signed, we can sign it for you there and then.
Yeah, and then post it back to the vocalist. Maybe when he turns up, get it signed as well.
We'll learn his signature. We'll just sign it for him.
Just give him a checkbook; it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, the EP seems a little bit of a watershed moment to you guys, because you seem to be like, that is what we were. You're very much talking about the future and how you are at the moment. So what are your plans going forward?
I think we've been in discussion about the fact that next year we are going to dumb down with, over the next few months, we're going to really sort of push and get some writing done. And we are actually going to be looking to try and get a full album done either next year or early year after. But it's definitely what's at the top of the list at the minute. That's the next move for us, I think. We're definitely on our way to having enough material to be able to do it already.
Yeah, I think so. It's like we've just done like a really quite intense at times sort of gigging schedule. Like we were doing like 4 or 5 gigs a month at one point. It was really getting quite tiring, to be fair. But it was like we're kind of like, well, we're playing the same stuff every night. We need to sort of knuckle down and get some new material written, which we're hoping to do. We've got another 2, I think, that are pretty close, I'd say.
Yeah, I think we've still got
yeah.
another 2 of. We've still got another 2 or 3 and little ideas of something to work on as well. So
We've got plenty in
they're
the
well
pot.
on the they're well on the way. We need to just sit down and get through them now and work out how we want to do them. But it's definitely at that point where we've got something now that's sounding. It's us. It's all 4 of us. This is what we want to sound like, which is pretty decent. Not too far away from what we've already done, but you can definitely tell we've got maybe a slight bit heavier, maybe.
No, ideal. So are people going to hear snippets of these new songs as well in the upcoming gigs?
Oh, definitely. There's a couple there that you can
right.
catch.
Yeah, we debuted a new song. Was it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? We played Rules for the first time.
And that was 2 weeks ago.
It was 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah, was that the launch EP?
It was, wasn't it? Yeah, it was at the launch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
A song
Treat a few
written by the
people to
drummer.
something new.
Okay, guys.
Whoever thought that?
Go on.
I was going to say whoever thought that would actually turn out well, but it's doing all right.
Thanks, guys.
Right, guys. I think we'll put it up there before there's a falling out. And I wish you all the best. News of the World is now available to stream.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
On all major platforms, I assume.
All major streaming platforms, Spotify, Deezer, Tidal, anywhere you want it, it'll be there. I think you can also buy it, if you do want to buy it as a digital single, it is on iTunes, Apple, and Amazon. So check it out. It's about.
And where can the guys find you on the socials?
Everywhere.
So you've got. check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Autonym UK or Autonym Official on YouTube. If you go on pretty much either one of the social medias on Facebook or Instagram, there's a link on their link tree which will take you to anywhere you want to go. Any of your YouTube, your music, our own website is linked there as well. Anything you need is right there at your fingertips.
Yeah. Right, and one final thing, if there's something you want to say to the fans, now's your time.
Dave, go.
Cheers, loves.
Short, sweet, but to the point. Autonym, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Dave. Thanks for having us.
Thanks very much, Dave.